Hello, everyone. Dr. Lara Hill. So grateful to be joining you today as we discuss this very important and timely topic. It's one of my favorite topics. I've been really looking forward to this Facebook Live in particular. If you're on, just make sure you give me a like, give me a heart, comment, let me know you can hear me, and we will get started as everyone hops on here. So a couple of things as we're waiting. I want everyone to please share and let the people that you love know that we are offering free resources during this time for our community as a support. There's tons of them out there. You can go to the video section of the Facebook page, the Dr. Lara Hill Facebook page, and that will give you a whole plethora of our past videos that we've already done. We're doing Zoom calls, live Zoom calls every single week to create community amidst the social distancing. It's still such an important thing and such a huge deal to be surrounding yourself with the people and the energy and the ideas and the thought process and the energy state that you want yourself to be in as much now as ever, if not more so. So really optimizing your energy state simply by surrounding yourself with the right people. Along those lines as well, get on to the Optimizing Wellness Facebook page if you're not already there. I am inspired. I'm amazed and just full of gratitude for all the great things that are being posted on that group. It's a community that everyone who is committed to continuing to optimize their mental, emotional, spiritual wellness during this time is in that group, sharing recipes, ideas, where favorite places to go outside, and just all kinds of different inspirations. So definitely do get onto that group, and remember that what you contribute to that group is just as important as what you get out of it. So as we get started here, optimizing your energy state, optimizing your energy state. Like I said, this is one of my favorite topics because I believe just by knowing this information, as soon as you start to just know and recognize, you are all the more empowered to begin to make shifts within yourself using this information. So when we're talking about energy state, what is it that we're referring to? So when we're talking about energy state, so this is not about maybe I have energy today because I got enough sleep, or I don't have enough energy today because I didn't get enough sleep. This is something that we always have control over, and we always have the ability to affect our own energy state. So just as a baseline, we can think of it in very simple terms as energy poor, energy neutral, and energy rich. So I want yourself just to do a self-assessment right now and say, would I rate myself right now in this moment as being more energy poor, energy neutral, or energy rich? So what is the energy that I'm bringing? And just to describe that a little bit more, when you're energy poor, really what it is you're almost on the borderline of survival. You're looking at life of I need to suck all of the resources from my environment that I possibly can just to survive. So I will tell you, this is a very prevalent energy state in the world right now. We've got a lot of fear, literally fear for survival, fear for our lives out there. And so a lot of people are either fully in this state or bordering on this state in energy neutral. In fact, I would say in the world that is the case quite a bit of the time. Okay, even not in the current circumstances. So energy neutral really, you're just maintaining the status quo. Things are good, things are okay, and we just want to do everything that we can to keep things good, keep things okay. All right, so it's not necessarily about having things be amazing or phenomenal. It's really about what can I do to keep things just okay. So as we get to the upper end of energy neutral, is starting to move in that direction of I want progress, I want to grow, I want to move in the direction of having things be even better than they are and even great in our life. All right, so that's energy, kind of upper end of energy neutral. And then when we're moving to energy rich, that's when you have so much energetic availability that you are tapped into a different source of energy. You no longer have to use energy in your environment, but you have a whole different access to different energy. So energy rich, and we could even say energy super rich. So when we're talking about the energy states, there's 3 states, and really you can say 4 states when we're talking about that energy super rich state, which is, and you know when you're around these people without a question in your mind, these people that are energy rich, just simply being close to them in their field of energy, you feel energized. You feel like, I just want to sit by this person just so I can have my whole life transformed just by being in their presence. And so really you can know and recognize within yourself and also within other people around you, not as a way of judging them, but just to notice, so that you have a way of reflecting on yourself. Energy poor, energy neutral, energy rich, and where am I right now in this moment, and knowing that you always have the power and ability to shift that within yourself through your own choice. We'll talk about that more, but most of all, right now, what I want you to do without thinking about shifting or changing anything is really just about noticing and awareness. So along with those 3 energy states, there's 3 different seasons that we can think about or talk about or refer to. And these are the seasons of discover, the season of transform, and the season of awaken. So the season of discover is really dominated by and really marked by the theme of learning from our pain and our suffering. So really learning. So at the very, very low end, very early end of the season of discover, we are in suffering. We feel separate. We feel alone. We feel disconnected. And really, as we progress through that season of discover, it's about really understanding and having a curious awareness, bringing more awareness to that suffering. So not trying to get away from it, which often is what we're trying to do. We're trying to stuff it down or push it away. And we end up creating more and more suffering as a result of just pushing it away. When in the season of discover, we take a moment, we pause, we pay attention, we see that that suffering and pain that we've been in is just simply our life or our body or our experience telling us, stop, pay attention, do something different, pay attention, do something different, and we do. In the season of discover, we do. We start to pay attention. We look at those parts of our lives that have been causing us pain. We start to notice that those situations or people that we had blamed, that really everything actually also is a part of us, that we had a part in every single part of our experience. And really ultimately through that curious awareness, through that being with of where and finding where we've been stuck, where we've just been stuck in our life over and over and over again. Really, that's the place where sometimes we'll transform into the season of transform, and sometimes we'll go back into more suffering and just say, man, I'm stuck. I'm doing it again. The same thing that has happened over and over and over. Here I am again, and that just drives us back into the early stages of discover where we go back into suffering. Where the more we have the ability and the more we bring conscious presence and awareness and non-judgmental awareness to that season of discover, the more that we have the ability to bring that energy of saying, I've been stuck here, and just allow that energy to propel us forward into saying, I've had enough. We really get sick of everything that we've done to hold ourselves back in our life to create what we've created for ourselves. And we say, I've had enough. I take my power back. And we have a time where we realize that we are ready for change. We're ready for change and forward progress. And that is what we do. So really at this point is about the building of energy, that drive, that movement towards resolution, just building and driving and creating energy, moving in the direction of resolution. And finally, that resolution ultimately is what propels us into the next season, which is that season of awaken. We realize first as we transition, kind of we're in that transition between the end of the season of transform and the beginning of the season of awaken, where we realize we never were separate at all from that power. We never lacked power at all. We never, were out of our power in any way. And in that realization, and in the spaciousness of that realization, we feel that spaciousness. We feel the bliss of the emptiness. Ultimately, we feel and we connect with our own light. We feel and we connect with a light that is a part of everything. We realize that we're here to bring and give our gifts to the world. That all of that pain, all of that suffering, all of that experience that we had kept ourselves separate from before, that now that we are no longer disconnected from it, now that we have lived through it and experienced it and grown from it, that's our gift. That is our gift that we have to bring to the world. So it really knowing and experiencing and having that sensation, that realness, that experience of giving and receiving the gifts that the universe has and is and does give us, as well as bringing our gifts to the world, and that really one is the same. They are one and the same, what we give and what we receive. What we receive is a gift, and what we give is that gift. And ultimately, in doing so, recognizing and feeling and experiencing the oneness of all, of everything. So these are the seasons of discover, transform, and awaken. And though there's a sense that, ooh, awaken sounds amazing, I want to be there. Really, there's sort of a secret. I'll share the secret at the end, but really also to recognize that there's a fourth season. And don't leave the video before I share the secret, because it's probably the most important thing of the entire Facebook Live that I'm doing right now, okay? But first, I just want to mention that there's this fourth season, which is really the season of integrate. So there may be times where you, at one at the same time, you're giving and receiving and recognizing your gifts, but you're also in suffering. There may be times when you're saying, I've had enough, and you also are, feeling that connected to the oneness. So, and there's a different combination of seasons, at any given period of time. And once having moved through the seasons, you're able to sort of weave those together and recognize that this is not a linear path. All right, so again, asking and checking in with yourself, which season am I in? And I will say right now, for basically all of us, and this is very important, because what we tend to do is we tend to push away, to draw back, and sort of shove our experience down, blame others, create separation. And so right now, during this time that we're in, that being with, that curiosity about what is and what wisdom is contained within what is here right now, being in that season of discover is one of the most important things that we can do. All right, and so one of the founders and developers of the work that I do that talks about all of these different things with great nuance. One of the things that he says, is one of my favorite quotes from him, is that there's two things that you have control of at any given time. You have control over where you put your attention, and you have control over the energy that you bring to it. All right, so you have your control over where you put your intention and the energy that you bring to it. That's Dr. Donald Epstein. And so just to realize that we have control about where we put our attention in our life and in our world. If you're paying attention to something and it's dropping your energy, you have two choices in that situation that you have 100% control of. You could shift your attention to where that is. If you're getting drained and, sucked into the media and is creating all this negativity within you, you can simply decide to put your attention somewhere else. It's an option to shift where your attention is. The second thing you can do is change the energy that you bring to it. So if I'm in an energy poor state, I can choose to shift my energy state to a more energy rich state. Okay? So one of the things that you can do, that's one of the amazing things, and I mentioned this earlier, is surround yourself with people who are already doing this, that are already living their lives this way. So one of the resources that I will say that I will offer you, that whole process of going from discover to transform, awaken, is a part of the 12 stages of healing. Which is a beautiful sort of journey which you can go through. And there's a series of exercises, body breath integration exercises that go along with that. Very powerful for helping connect with whatever sort of season you're in most fully. And it's one of the best ways to help yourself move through as opposed to just being stuck in any one place at any given time. So we are actually doing those somatorespiratory integration exercises. We're coming together and doing those on a Zoom call. I'm so happy and excited and grateful to be doing this. The call last week was absolutely phenomenal. We did stage 1 of the 12 stages and the somatorespiratory integration or body breath integration exercise that went along with that. And it was just beautiful. The shares from the people that were in the group, the light that was just glowing in their eyes at the end of the call and in my own heart was so just touching. And I was so grateful to do that. We are going to be doing stage 1 again this week. So I would love for you to jump into that call. We'll be just looking at it from a different angle. So the people who were on that call last week will get even more out of it. The people who are on this week will, be able to, be perfectly caught up as well. And so definitely get on this call this week. Just depending on where people are at and what the desire is and where people are at as far as the 12 stages go and just in their own lives, we may continue on to different stages. We may see what shows up in individual meetings as we continue to meet and do that together. So that is this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And remember, I do have one more thing that I need to tell you. It's the most important secret about this whole thing. So don't jump off just yet. So this Thursday at 7:30 p.m., register for the event. You can find that event on the Dr. Lara Hill Facebook page under events. And you do want to make sure that you register so that we can get, so that you can get the Zoom link for that. You are going to need the link to get onto that Zoom call. So definitely make sure that you register on Eventbrite ahead of time. You can find that Eventbrite link right through that Facebook event. Make sure you get on that Optimizing Wellness Duluth Facebook page. You can just search for Optimizing Wellness Duluth, or that's also on the Facebook page under groups. And next week, we will be doing another Facebook Live of this same topic, this optimizing your energy state. And I will be sharing one of the most powerful strategies that you can use to instantaneously shift your energy state to a more energy rich state. So definitely look for that. We'll be doing that same time, same place next Wednesday. And we will continue to give more strategies on optimizing your energy state. Okay, like I said, I love this topic. So we'll continue to expand on that conversation. This is one that really everyone can benefit by, and you can see the impact that it can make in you in your life. So just continuing, as you look at that self-assessment, looking at the seasons of discover, transform, awaken, and the journey through that and integrate. And what is my current energy state right now? Am I energy poor? Am I energy neutral? Am I energy rich? Am I energy super rich? But here's the most important thing that is maybe the most important thing for you to know right now, because there's this kind of sense of, oh, awaken sounds amazing to me. I want to get there. And how do I get there as quickly as possible? So 2 things that I want you to know. Number 1, the fastest thing that you can do, no matter what season you're in, to get to a more energy rich state is simply bringing your presence and your present, non-judgmental, loving awareness to what is, to what currently is. So this is about being in rhythm with where you are, being in harmony with where you are. Suffering immediately begins to soften when you don't judge the suffering, but just be with it. Okay, so this doesn't mean ruminating or spiraling. This means simply being without the story, just with the energy behind the story, and accepting, acknowledging, and allowing and being aware of that. Okay, and final note, when we're talking about what season is the goal of what season to be in, there is no goal. Your only goal and the most important season to be in is the season you're in right now. The most important place, the most important feeling, the most important experience that you can have is right now. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, on the call on Thursday, or on any of the online events that we have coming up. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. We'll see you soon in person. Take care.